Hey everybody, Pastor Carl here, and thank you for agreeing before you even had much information to be a part of this 2025 Kids Ministry Planning Team. And thanks again for sitting down for a few minutes to watch this video. I know you already peeked at how long it is to decide whether you want to watch it. Guilty, aren't you? Hey, I don't even know how long it's gonna be, but you know, because while you're watching it, it's already done filming and I just started it. Well, I'm gonna make it as short as possible because I'm not gonna get into a lot of detail, but I am going to, best that I can, give you a little bit of a forecast, sneak peek into what this is all about. Now, I've got all kinds of top secret papers here that they're all a mess right now because I've been going through them. I'm gonna throw those on the floor. I have a cheat sheet just past the camera. It looks like I'm pointing at that, but I'm pointing at my cheat sheet, a whiteboard behind the camera to keep me on task and moving forward. And what you see behind me is a prop. I grabbed it, well, it's not really a prop, but I grabbed it from Pastor Jason's office. It's what he's been going through with the staff and kind of giving us a sneak peek. I told him it would just be a prop in the back. I'm not going to give anything away. I don't know, maybe you're zooming in to get a little glimpse into what's on that board there. But here's what this is all about. You remember that scene in The Wizard of Oz where Dorothy and her companions, they finally get to the Emerald City and there's all this amazing cool stuff going on, but they finally get to see behind the curtain. Behind the curtain is the wizard. Now, it's a bad analogy in the sense that there was a lot of hoopla and the wizard was actually kind of disappointing. He was a little guy back there pulling all the levers. Well, I don't want to make too much of the analogy, but what I want to make the point is that on Sunday, you see a great production. You see all the hard work that's put together. You experience amazing Sunday morning. You guys are a part of putting that on. But during the week, there's a lot that goes in to creating that experience, from kids ministry to youth ministry, Sunday nights, Wednesday nights, whenever it's been, and of course on Sunday with production and everything. But a lot of it happens behind the curtain. And what we're wanting to do as High Point Church is growing, is we want to pull back the curtain a little bit. All right, we want to be more transparent. We want to include you more in those levers, because we know the key to keeping the momentum going that God has been blessing our church with is increasing leadership, right? Right now, it is amazing. God is blessing our socks off. We've experienced incredible growth. You know that because you're in the room with the kids. And yes, we need more volunteers, but we need more than just more people in the rooms, more volunteers. We need more leaders, because as we grow in leaders and as we share the leadership, the volunteers are going to come, because there's going to be more buy-in to what we're all about. So our plan at these meetings that we're going to be having is, first of all, at this first one next Monday, we're going to be reflecting on 2024, and we're going to be then doing some planning for 2025 and beyond, all right? Buzz Lightyear and beyond, but mostly focusing on 2025. So it's going to start with sharing and reviewing, because many of you have been through Growth Track and you've heard it before, but we're going to be focusing at the beginning, not a lot of time, but on what the vision, then out of that flows the mission, the values, and the goals of High Point Church, right? We won't spend a lot of time on that, but it all starts there. And then for us and our team, how does that flow and how does that transfer into our kids' ministry? And then the exciting work for us is going to be talking about hang on, I skipped something on my cheat sheet. And then you're going to be the first to learn about some of the upcoming initiatives in High Point Church that flowing out of those mission and vision, and we're going to share some of those things with you. And then out of that, we're going to be talking about what are some of the initiatives, some of the opportunities and things that we can do in our kids ministry to further that mission and vision and values within the kids ministry. So we want to invite you into that process. Now, coming to this does not obligate you to step up into further leadership. I think some of you will. Right now, I'm just inviting you to be a leader because you already are a leader in being a part of this process. There may be something that comes out of this process that you're like, man, I'm excited about that. I want to help spearhead that. I want to help lead that. Or you may be a part of the process of helping to identify leaders by saying, man, I think I know so-and-so has a passion for this, and maybe we'll end up approaching them and saying, is this something that you would want to lead? So here's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to break it into 4 things. First, we're going to be evaluating last year, 2024, and in that we're going to be looking at, what were our top wins. We'll talk briefly about Easter, and Palm Sunday. We'll talk maybe about trunk or treat. I'm going to be asking you, what are some of the wins? What are some of the things, that we're doing well? Because we're going to be presenting that on the 28th to the executive leadership and saying, here's what we're doing well. Here's our wins. I might have to go back and dig through and figure out how many kids got saved in our kids ministry, what things are going well, and we'll talk about that. We're going to list those. And then what are some of the opportunities that we have, things that we could be doing, or opportunities that we seized during the year. And then we're going to talk about the challenges. What are the challenges that we're facing? Maybe it's with the facilities. Obviously, it's with recruiting. Whatever those are, we're going to talk about them. Not gripe session, not complaining session, but honestly, what are some of the challenges that we're facing in our kids ministry? And then, of course, we want to address those later. And then what have been our priorities in this last year? What have been the things that we've been focusing on? All right. And I have some ideas, but I want to hear from you, okay? Because you're serving and you're in the trenches. Some of you week in, some week out, and you're gonna identify things that I might be like, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't realize that, or I thought it was little and you think it's big, and some things I think are big you might think are not as big as other things. And so we're going to spend some time doing some evaluation. All right. The next section is dreaming. All right, and that's really exciting. And so we're going to be looking at what are some initiatives that we could pursue or tackle in 2025. Now, understand that we're going to dream and we're going to actually put some plans in place, but they're proposals, right? Everything we talk about probably isn't going to happen because we're going to talk about several things. We may end up with 5 or 6 proposals or plans, and we're not going to be able to do them all. And understand, every ministry is doing this. So youth's going to be like, we got 5 things we want to do. And the worship ministry is going to have 5, 6 things that they want to do. And everybody's going to be bringing these things to the executive leadership. And so then they're going to be obviously looking at them, looking at the budget, and then they're going to be determining what they want us to pursue. So some of the things they may say, great idea, not yet. Maybe that's a future initiative or something. But we're gonna dream about some of those things. I've got some ideas. They have some they're giving me and saying, this is something we think it's time for the kids ministry to pursue. And I'm going to present those to you, what those are. Let me just pick one as an example. As you probably know, because you've heard me talk about it, and recently it's picked up a little momentum with one of our leaders who's watching this, is starting a 4th and 5th grade ministry. We've called it Peak 45. We've done Nerf Wars, and we've done hikes, and we've done some events, and we've even discussed whether we should make it a Peak 46, and include 6th graders. That's definitely one of the ones we're going to talk about. And so that's already on the list, all right? And so that's one that we're going to propose. That in 2025, we want to launch a preteen or a middle school, it's less than middle school. Anyway, that's one that we want to do. So then we have to define it. So for each of those dream ministries, then we're going to present a proposal. So that will be delegated to someone on the team. We'll all talk about it, and then that person's going to end up kind of putting more of the meat on the bone. I think I know who that will be. And so there'll be an overview, and then we'll look at what are the opportunities, what are some of the challenges, what are some of the proposed actions. Like, we need to build a gymnasium out there in that field where all the volunteers park, and then what's the value creation or the benefits, right? And so we're going to define those, and we're going to put together a whole proposal. The whole team will work on it. I'm just saying that one person might say, hey, I'll grab that one and I'll kind of run with it and put some meat on the bones. And so we'll do that with all 6 of them. Because to be clear, this is not a team that's saying, here's a bunch of ideas, Carl, Nevaeh, you guys fill in all the fluff. It's no, we're going to own this. Now, some of you I know will have more time than others. I understand that. And the reason I'm going to send this video to some people who aren't already on the team is maybe it'll get you excited. And maybe you'll join us. Join me. All right. And it'll be fantastic. After that, so there's the evaluating, there's the dreaming. I kind of already leaked in number 3, and that's the planning. After we kind of dream and we identify what those 5 or maybe 6 kind of ideas are, we'll go into planning. All right, we'll actually start to define those out. That's why I think we're going to actually need another meeting after the 12th, because I think the 12th is going to be evaluating, dreaming, coming up with those 5 or 6 initiatives that we'd like to do, and then probably giving some assignments to put some meat on the bones. I think we're going to meet again, and it could just be in another week. We'll figure that out when we get together. And then I think we'll come back with our assignments done, a little more meat on the bones in the group me, maybe exchanging some stuff, maybe people emailing me stuff that I put into the document. I think we'll get back together again, all report in, share, and then, practice some presentation, because the presentation's not going to be just me and Nevaeh presenting it. I actually think I'll do some of it, maybe introduction, maybe Nevaeh will wrap it up. I don't know. We're going to figure that out together as a team. And that is the 4th segment. So it's evaluation, it's dreaming, it's planning, and then there's going to be a presentation. So on the 28th, that's when, as a team, at this bigger event, and I believe it's with all the teams, or no, I think it's just with Pastor Caleb and Jason at a set time. Sorry, we are going to make our presentation, and we're going to say, these are the things we've dreamed about. Here's the meat. Here's the planning. It's going to include budget as well. You guys are going to have a say in the budget. I've usually prepared the kids ministry budget on my own with Kim and with Pastor Caleb, and that obviously would have been with Jason now. And but you guys are going to have some input into helping produce that. So that is kind of a bird's eye, high level view. There's a lot I wanted to add, but I want you to come and I want you to be a part of that process. I'm super excited about it. This is something that I've done in the past in other ministries with a leadership team. I'm excited to see this happening again, and it's going to be awesome. I have to caution you, we're going to dream a lot. We're going to put a lot out there. Everything we talk about is not going to happen. Again, every ministry is doing this, but there are going to be some really concrete results from this time together, this planning together. The first step, and I'll end with this, is prayer. We don't want to just come up with ideas of what we think we should do, we want to do. We all have pet projects, favorite things we've done in the past. We want to hear from God, and we want to do what God wants to do. I used to be a surfer, believe it or not, in California, not a great one, more boogie board than surfer. But when you're riding a wave, you have to be on the edge of the wave, and you have to push ahead of the wave. If you push too far, you crash. But if you don't push enough, the wave goes ahead without you and leaves you behind. And the trick in surfing or boogie boarding is to sense the wave, and you watch, and it's about every 7 waves is a rideable wave. And you got to watch. You got to watch the little waves, and then you got to grab the big one, all right? And I sense that we've been watching the little waves, and we've been seeing the waves, and now it's time to listen to God, and it's time to push a little bit, work a little harder, and ride that wave, and make sure it's God's wave, not a wave of our own making. We don't want a wave maker, all right? We want a wave maker, not a wave maker, and we want to be riding that wave, and God's power will be with us. We'll just be on the board, riding, pushing into it, trusting God, but the power is going to be in God doing it. And as a result, lives are going to be changed. And not just the kids, volunteers' lives, your lives, parents' lives, and it's going to be fantastic. So I look forward to seeing you, and thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this team. If you've already signed up, I'm excited. If you're watching this and you were on the fence, hey, be a part of this. It's going to be fantastic. Thanks for watching.